All right, so Adrian, if you raised $5 million for your startup, which I think you're in the middle of at the moment, so this is a pretty real situation right now, would you pay yourself more than $100,000 a year salary or less than $100,000 a year salary?
Less. Hand on heart, less. I think there's two main reasons I'd want to highlight. Investors are investing and looking to make a return, and you need to build your business to profitability as soon as possible, right?
Okay.
So the more you spend, the more you've got to make, the more customers you've got to acquire, the longer it's going to take you to become profitable.
Right.
Number two, comes down to help, I guess. The more you pay yourself, the more you have to do yourself.
Okay.
Right? There are times where there's so many things that need doing, and one of the challenges you find yourself having is what are the things you need to prioritise, what you should work on. Freeing up some of that capital to pay people the bits that you don't need doing, but your time's better served elsewhere, is also critical.
All makes sense in that realm.
Yeah, and
great answer. Next question is, the toughest thing you face in your career right now? You've just left a nice big, say, corporate job. You're actually moving into a startup, right?
Yep.
So toughest thing you face?
Comes back to what I said earlier about time. So
Prioritising time.
Prioritising.
So
one of the
many
things I focus on the most right now, you get more people investing in your business if they see you're up and running and you've got customers.
Yep.
Once you've hit that, they go, yep, you've got something viable, we'll give you more money.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's always that temptation to go, well, we really, would it help if I had more meat on the bone and had full end-to-end screens and flows and all these things?
Yeah.
When I know from corporate experience anyway, the reality of where you start out with a solution to a problem, what you think you're going to build, to what you ultimately build at the end, is going to take a turn. Yeah. So, while there's this appetite and desire to really jump in and do it, it's having to hold back and saying, well, what value am I adding by doing that, and focusing my effort more on activities that will help support the investment conversation. This is
the third question. It's my favorite question so far. The dumbest thing you're seeing in digital right now in Australia?
Yeah. Well, I'll probably answer this one going back to financial services, which is where most of my experience in digital is. Incumbent, so traditional organisations, where the thing I'm finding frustrating as well as stupid is it's almost the inequitable amount of investment that goes into digital versus everything else. Your digital platforms, your digital channels are your most trafficked branches. Yet from an investment perspective, to the tune of 95% of your money goes on doing everything else, and if you're lucky, you're seeing 5% of your money invested in digital, right? Whereas your customers are predominantly digital and want the convenience of digital, but you're not pumping that sort of money into building up your digital proposition. The second component to that, I still find the internal battles, if you like, within an organisation, where whether you choose to or not, you need that full service digital banking capability.
Exactly.
Because it empowers customers.
From 2016, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And it empowers convenience and choice and lets customers do whatever you want. The broader problem there, though, is just feature discrimination, where I see it not just, a simple example the other day. Oops. Well, can we edit that out and say with a large telecommunication provider in Australia example, I've called them up to do something over the phone and they've said, sorry, you can't do that, you need to go into one of our stores and they'll be able to help you. So then I go into the store and do that. While I'm there, it occurred to me there was something else I needed done through them. I've gone and said, all right, actually while I'm here and you've got me here anyway, can you also do this? Oh no, you need to call our call centre to do that.
To go back through the loop.
Why do customers need to be put through the loops of, what services do we need to provide to empower choice for a customer end-to-end to do business with us? And go out and deliver that rather than dealing with the internal politics. Your competitors are doing it. Fintechs are going to be doing it.
The smaller startups are coming in, they're doing it.
Customers, you need to empower that customer choice.
Within that, do you think that it's the size of these organisations that's really preventing them from being, nimble enough to be able to make these moves?
I've worked with such intelligent, passionate people in these organisations. But they always get just caught up in the red tape.
We're growing out, our company's growing out, and we're making decisions to grow that capability. And with regards to you talking now with corporate companies and the red tape, some decisions have even been made without me, and I've had to stop myself from going, hang on, no, what? Step back, take yourself out of it and look at it and go, was that a good decision for the business, yes or no? Most of the time, it is. Our fourth question, Adrian, is what are you not doing day to day in your life that you need to be doing more of? And it can be any area.
So I think it's quite interesting. I think professionally, I think it's networking, but it's not necessarily networking in the true sense. Some of the most amazing things happen when you collaborate with people, and some of the best ideas come from places you didn't even think they were going to come from. Whereas if you get 10 like-minded people with similar backgrounds sitting in a room, they're all just going to go and say,
let's see what we can come up with.
Here's what we can come up with.
Yeah.
And you know, you between the 10 of you, your top 3 ideas are always going to be the same top 3,
Yeah,
right? Because of your backgrounds, but it's getting that mix of people and diversity of opinions through places that you didn't expect, and you know that that's where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
So that's something I know that when you're sitting in corporate, you go, I know I need to do more of this. I know I need to get out there, but
What would it look like? What would that look like in an MVP?
I would see, I'd look for 3 other people. I would moderate the session. I would not voice my opinion in that session at all. I would sit there and listen.
Why not?
You don't want to sway it, right?
Yeah.
I'd sit there and shut my mouth entirely. I'd look for 2 things. You need at least 1 male, at least 1 female. Differences of opinion and background.
As
and
always
people
happens.
think is different. Don't care where the third person comes from or you know what sort of background they may have. Potentially not even any background in financial services at all. Right.
Yep.
And
they all have
get them to talk
accounts.
about problems. You're all customers of banks, so talk about problems.
Okay.
Talk about frustrations. The less I say in that session from a guiding conversation, the better.
And you know all these people, that'd be on your LinkedIn and your phone contacts. Okay. I look forward to seeing you actually do that, man.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be good fun.
I'd love to be a part of it. Last question of the day is, it's your time to humble brag about something that you've actually done yourself recently. It can be up to, I don't know, let's just go, 2 years ago, Sala? Yeah.
I guess, look...
Making a baby.
No, yeah, making a baby is a big one. For me, the big one has been the realities of wanting to start my own business. You know you need to take a haircut on your pay. You know you're essentially starting at ground floor of an elevator, working your way back up again and proving you've got a sustainable business. For me, the way this has manifested for me in this instance was, I was head of digital at a financial services institution. It was a newly established function. I was there for 12 months, amazed at what we achieved in 12 months. Mm-hmm. I had to build that team from the ground up, so they didn't exist. Defining a digital strategy, getting it endorsed, mobilizing against key pillars of the strategy, delivering our first ever agile project. Historically, I think the quickest any project had been done was sort of 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, right.
We were live in 6 weeks. But, you know, building the right people and...
Being ahead of that, being responsible for that.
Spearheading the direction we need to go in and enabling and empowering those people. And then demonstrating that, hey, we can do this. I was there for 12 months. 6 months in, the CEO left. The catalyst, I guess, for me moving on was in that initial 6 months that I was there, acknowledgement from my former CEO. You were there for 6 months.
Look what you
did. You did a great job. I'm working in this startup over here. How would you like to come and help me over on this side of the world? Very brutal to say, there's a 50% haircut on your pay day 1, so you've got to be aware of that.
Plus
and
new family.
having achieved that.
Having the balls to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
And getting noticed. And then,
yeah.
But you know, then on a personal level though, having worked hard in my entire career, and it's hard work, nothing comes easy, and you know this running your own business. That put me in front of the right people at the right time, at a time that I could leave my corporate world behind. And jump into startup world.
It's all happening, and it's look. It's you know, and this is not a dig. Again, this is not a dig to people who can't or don't want to do that. It's not about that. It's just about the fact that you know, for the right people, if they aspire to do this, and then they say, it would be good if you can do it.
Being a dreamer behind your desk is not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, no.
You've just got to say, I'm going to put my fears behind, I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to go for it.
Mm-hmm. If you can get over all that and acknowledge the worst that can happen, jump into something, protect the downside and go for it, and you're in a job at the moment, you want to get out, you want to start your own thing, definitely hit Adrian up. I know you're a pretty approachable guy.
Absolutely.
Adrian's a guy to talk to. But dude, thank you so much for being off the cliff.